This is a C8 Corvette. That's a Hyundai Ioniq 5N. On paper, these cars don't really make a lot of sense. And this is not our traditional motor trend comparison, Scott, but why are we doing this?
Imagine this, right? We like to dream about Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but we can't afford those. $70,000 is a number we can aspire to. We could maybe save up and get there. And for 70 grand, you could have traditional performance, Corvette, V8, basically a supercar.
American muscle.
Exactly. Or you could have this SUV tall hatchback, electric, it's 600 horsepower, and it's even track ready. So what gets you the most smiles for your dollar?
And that's a question that we're here to find out. Whether it's your traditional coupe, supercar, sports car, or something that's new, different, fun, futuristic, but they are both bringing you fun behind the wheel. And for 70 grand, what's more fun to drive? That's what we're here to find out. All right, here we go. So the thing I love about the Corvette, 490 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque, rear wheel drive, you're sitting low to the ground. There's this massive sound coming from the back of your head, right? I mean, it's just so much fun.
Well, and what's really great is, right, this is just the base one. This is the LT1, nothing special, no performance options on it at all. And it's still a really good sports car right out of the box. Like, this is totally fun to drive, even without the limited slip differential and the performance exhaust and the extra big brakes and more power and everything else. Like, it's just already great.
It's good for the money. There's nothing out there if you're looking for a sports car like this.
I mean, that's why it was our 2020 car of the year, and 3 years later it was our 2023 performance vehicle of the year. Corvettes are just super fun to drive, and they give you so much of that supercar look and feel and even driving experience out of the engines in the back for, again, starting at 70 grand.
Yeah. That's a crazy part about this is that, there's no other car in the world that's mid-engine for $70,000, right? And I mean, it's a bargain as far as going, performance per dollar kind of thing. It's just ridiculous.
Well, it's incredible what it can do, right? Like, without all the performance packages, just a base car like this still does 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds in our testing. That's still crazy quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it still does, big numbers on the skid pad, and we're having a great time right now with it. Like, yeah, you could spend a lot more money and get a much faster one that pulls even bigger numbers, but how much bigger numbers do you really need?
Absolutely. And then, it comes to how it drives, right? And on a road like this, on a twisty road like this, it's its natural habitat. It's where it's gonna shine the most. It's so much lighter than the Ioniq 5, right? Like you said, 1,300 pounds lighter than the Ioniq 5N, right? And the steering is gonna feel lighter and more precise. And
that's exactly, you feel it in the front end of the car, especially the steering. I mean, the steering on the Hyundai is good, but this car turns in so sharply. It feels light and nimble. The braking feels really strong and immediate. And these are just on the basic standard brakes, not the big brake package or anything. It still feels really great.
It's what you would expect out of a sports car.
And this dual clutch transmission, I mean, I put it right up there with the Porsche PDK in how it knows exactly when to shift, exactly what gear you want, when you want it. You can drive it all day without ever using the paddle shifters, or you can use them and have all the fun you want, but it is absolutely perfect just out of the box.
Yeah, like you said, it just knows exactly what RPM it needs to shift, up or down too, right? And the shifts are smooth. Sometimes we want to feel like the little bump.
Some people like that, yeah, right?
Some people like that, yeah, the kick. But here are pretty smooth overall, right? And
oh, perfect.
I think that's also so cool about this Corvette is that it is a sports car. It's something that's going to shine on a road like this, but also it's very livable, right? Like, you can drive it every day. Didn't you drive one for a full year?
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that's not gonna like tire you out, wear you out. I mean,
Well, and that one had the adaptive dampers, the MagnaRide suspension, and this one doesn't, but this still rides really good. This is fine. Like that, I have no complaints about the way this car rides. Again, great out of the box.
and sure, like maybe, riding as low to the ground as we are right now, it's not like the most comfortable sitting position, and visibility might not be the best and all of that. But those are the things that come with a sports car, right? Like when you're gonna make a decision and go for a sports car, those are the things that you're gonna have to stick with, right? Like,
Well, and it gives you that sensation of speed though too, right? Like it feels like we're 2 inches off the ground right now. We are down here in it. It really like sets the mood. It makes every turn feel kind of fun.
absolutely, yeah.
But you're right too that the car isn't perfect, right? Like yeah, you could spend more money and have more performance, right? You can't really see super well out of it. That's part of the deal, and it drives the way it drives.
Yeah.
It's engaging, but it does a Corvette thing, and that's it. And if you love that, then perfect, you're good to go.
Let's talk about this V8 engine, because, man, the way, just having it behind your head, it's just, it just makes the whole experience better, right? Also, as far as like balancing the car out, there is, there's obviously this is a rear wheel drive plus rear engine. So it's just, the power is just all back there. And I don't know, launching the car just feels so good.
The cool thing about this engine is like being a big displacement V8 has a lot of torque, and has a lot of torque at all RPM. It feels like, especially for a gas powered engine like this, like you can just dig out in any gear. Like you don't have to be shifting all the time, which is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like on the one hand, it's great that this thing always has power to go, but then if you're using the paddle shifters, well, on a road like this, we're not changing gears very often. Like you don't need to. So some of that like driver engagement of changing your own gears and things, and this happens in manual transmission cars too sometimes, where like you just kind of end up in third or fourth.
Yeah. Now here you can leave it in automatic all the time, and it will do its thing just fine, right?
Right, and like I said, you're not doing that many more shifts unless you want to.
It kind of like just raised the bar in terms of what you can do in terms of performance for the money, right? We didn't have that before. The Corvette before the C8, the C7 Corvette wasn't like that, right? I mean,
it was good, but it wasn't this good.
No.
This car really like completed the whole package, and it gave you like the exotic bits too that you never quite had before. Putting the engine behind the seats like makes this feel like you're could be talked about in the same sentence as supercars from Europe, but you can still get this one at a price that you and I could maybe someday aspire to being able to afford.
Absolutely. We were talking earlier about the livability of the car. How comfortable is it to drive every day? And two-seater cars are usually not the most comfort ones, right? I mean, sitting here, yeah, the cabin does feel compact, but you do have a lot of like cool options, right? Like there's Apple CarPlay. All the buttons are like easy to reach. Everything like, there's a digital driver's display that has cool graphics, right? Like there's all these little things. There's this cool mirror that you can flip it off, and then you have a camera display instead of having the mirror being displayed, right? So like all these technologies that just make your day a little bit easier. Just a part of like the things that you may not be appreciative of every day, but once you use them, they just make your day better.
Well, I'll tell you too, like they all come with this camera in the nose. And man, if you drive a car that's low to the ground, like being able to see exactly how close you are to the curb or the parking stop, like it's a simple thing, but it's a really nice thing to have so you don't crunch the nose of your car just trying to park it regular basis. But I will say all these things that you just talked about are all great for the driver. I will say as a passenger over here, like I am a little like boxed in by the like giant like ridge of buttons here. And this screen is absolutely like pointed at you. So like if I want to change the volume, like I gotta like my seatbelt just locked up. I gotta like lean forward here to change the volume or some things. But it's very much like this car is for the driver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a driver's car, absolutely.
Right? I mean, I still say if you just took any person off the street and you put them in this car right now with the sound on and with the paddle shifting on, you could convince them that they were just in a hot hatch SUV, whatever this is.
Powered by an internal combustion engine. I mean, it's just crazy how real the sound is, you know? The experience, the whole experience, you get the kick, you get the audible and feeling experience. Like, this is louder than in the Corvette.
Yeah.
You know? And in the Corvette, we had the engine behind our heads. Here, there's no engine. I mean, there's an electric motor.
Right.
But there's this audio coming from the speakers where it just makes it seem so real.
Well, and here's what makes this car even more fun. I grant you it's a little silly, but it's also, I think, fun. It is, I can just push this. Now it's like Cyberpunk, Tron, I don't know what you call it. Then there's my favorite, which is, they wanted to call it Maverick, but they weren't sure if they could get the licensing all figured out, so they just called it Supersonic, but it's supposed to sound like you're in Top Gun.
No, this is great. I mean, like you said, it's silly, but I have to give it to Hyundai. There's innovation behind it, right? It's made well also, right? Like, it doesn't, it may have a little bit of a fake sound, but it's all like realistic. Like, you're living the moment and everything is happening as you go, right? It's just so much fun.
And like, because it's all digital, it's all just software, make a new one. Like, they could put out one tomorrow that makes it sound just like the Corvette, or they could make it sound even more like a spaceship or anything in between. These are just the first three that they came up with.
I love that even when it's idling,
right? Idling.
It's actually like you can actually see the tach kind of like idling, the tach needle idling, right? You can hear it like it's idling. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Right. If you go back to the like engine sounds right here, yeah, like the tach needle moves, it revs up, and it'll even hit a rev limiter. Like,
and you get the kick and everything, you know?
Yeah, like they intentionally disrupt the acceleration so that you get the kick or you get the stop like from the rev limiter. Like, and yeah, all this is kind of just for fun. You can use this to change the way you drive the car. Like right now I'm using the paddle shifter. So when I pull a downshift, like we get some more resistance. It's like changing down a gear in your car. It changes the weight balance from the rear to the front. Like, you can actually use that if you want to drive the car like that.
The Hyundai engineers just came up with this brilliant idea of making it more fun, adding more personality to it. And I think the result is fantastic.
And we started the whole question of this, right, is smiles per dollar. And like, look at all the stuff you can do with this car for the money. Yeah, these fun things we've been talking about, but like I can also go over here and change the lockup on the electric limited slip differential. I can change the steering weight. I can change how much power is going to the motors, the suspension, what noises, how loud the noises are. Like, you can make all kinds of adjustments to this car, everything.
Things that I don't like about it, there's a lot of things I do like about it, but I don't like that everything is done through the screen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, here we are on a winding road, and you're gonna have to go through the screen and going through menus and everything, and it's not ideal. Right?
That is true. Like, there's only 2 buttons here that you can you can customize them, but some of these things you still have to go into the screen to change, even with the customizing, and that's not ideal.
But honestly, other than that, I mean, we're just sitting here laughing, smiling, having fun, thinking how ridiculous this is.
Right.
It's also very well planted. We said earlier, it's 1,300 pounds more than the Corvette. And you do feel that on the turns, right? Like, I mean, it sticks to the ground.
That's the thing. It's kind of a plus and a minus, right? On the plus side, your center of gravity is super low, like even lower than the Corvettes, and that makes it feel super planted and handle much better than it would otherwise. So that's great. But on the other hand, like this car's doing a lot of things to trick Isaac Newton, but you can't hide 1,300 pounds of weight. Like we can feel it when we go in this corner right here. Like the front end is responsive, but it's not as crisp as the Corvette. And when you step on the brakes, this technically stops shorter in a emergency stop than the Corvette does, but it doesn't feel as quite as confident because it's got so much more weight. It's got to slow down. So you do feel the difference, but then you weigh that against like everything else this car does and how well it like hides that mass most of the time and all the tricks that it does. And you're kind of like, well, okay, yeah, it's heavier, but how much do I really care?
Yeah. We should talk about like how much power this thing makes, right? And what is powering it too. So 2 electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear, and then over 600 horsepower.
600 horsepower, 617 pound-feet of torque. Like this thing is quicker to 60 than the Corvette is. It stops better. Like it does all these things that you would have to pay a bunch of extra money in order to like match in the Corvette.
This is the fastest SUV we've tested at Motortrend. It's just ridiculous, right? Like, I mean, I'm running out of words to describe it because it's just it's just so much fun and just like, unbelievable what they have done with it.
Well, and we talked about in the Corvette that it's got so much torque, right? That you can dig out in any gear, it'll get up and go. And as good as it is, like you just cannot compare that to what electric motors can do because this thing has all the torque at any motor speed. So you step on the pedal on this and it's going to take off harder than the Corvette does. And you especially get it when you come out of corners, right? Because it's got that front motor that's helping pull the front end out and it's got all the torque. It just takes off out of a corner in a way that the Corvette being rear drive and naturally aspirated and just not having 100 and something less pound-feet of torque just cannot do, even though it's lighter.
Yeah, there's no hesitation from it. It just goes.
And that's not to say the Corvette's bad. It's just this does even more than what the Corvette can do for the same money, or even actually a little bit less money, technically.
Yeah, like $3,000 less, right?
Yeah.
The ride, I think it is very comfortable. It is planted, right? It is good, very good body control. So it blends very well, like the comfortability, the livability part, and then also the performance part with it, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a bit stiffer than the Corvette, not gonna lie. It's not quite as plush as that one, but it's not super hard like other N cars have been in the past. So it's kind of a compromise there, but it's still very livable. And there's 3 different levels. You can change it too. This comes with adaptive dampers that you have to pay extra for on the Corvette. So you can just knock it down into, the most comfortable setting and go about your day.
Yeah.
It is a very different experience in this car though, right? Like it is low-ish to the ground, but like we're sitting much like taller, more upright. The ceiling's much higher. The windshield's more upright. Like it's a very different feel from the Corvette. But like when you get into a corner, it's just as much fun. And maybe it's a little different kind of fun because it comes out of that corner different. It does different things, but it puts just as big of a smile on my face.
Oh yeah. And I think it just impresses more whoever's riding with you in the car. They're just, gonna be more amazed about the things that you can do with it than the things that you can do in the Corvette. Right? Because it's like unexpected. Like I don't know. It's just like surreal. This is a new innovative way of just showing what you can do with EVs and be not trying to copycat anybody, right? This is its own thing. It's its own ideology. Well, after a full day of driving both of these cars on canyon roads, it's time for a decision. Scott, both of these cars are equally as fun, right? Like they have both their own personality. They're very different, like we found out, but my gosh, are they fun on these driving roads?
Yeah, and I mean, that just makes me want to say one more time. I mean, I just forgot how good a standard Corvette is. I mean, with no performance options on it, at all. This car was still really fun out here in the corners.
I mean, no performance package, but you have a V8 that's super powerful right off the bat. You have a dual clutch transmission that's, very lively and super well tuned. I mean, this just enhances that sort of like performance and engagement that you have behind the wheel, right? And anybody riding with you is gonna have that same kind of feeling too, because this is a car that's gonna entertain every single occupant, including the driver. And in a time when we're told that EVs don't have any personality, the Ioniq 5N proves everybody wrong.
Absolutely. This car shows you exactly how much personality you can get for $70,000, and that's why it's our winner.